What is good? I mean, what is really good, my people? It is UK. Trot brother dr.blick, the darkest man. Hurrah today, guys. I am here with MrNinjaStar and Vengefulwiberg. Say hi to the people, man.
What's going on to the people? I'm MrNinjaStar and I'm happy to be making the return on the Dr. Blick's channel where we're going to be having a fun discussion here.
Yeah. Every time you're always laughing.
I don't know why I'm laughing. But what is good, bros and bros? It's been an extremely long time since I've been here. You know, I'm on that Mario grind. And it's awesome to be here. It's been forever since I did a video with my boy Dr. Blick, so I'm very hyped to do this. Let's go!
And just before we start off this video, I just gonna put it out there. The reason why Venge always laughs beforehand is because we always make a Bill Cosby joke. So I'm just putting that out there. So if Venge randomly laughing beforehand, it's most likely we made a Bill Cosby joke.
Yep.
Look, he's laughing right now. But anyways, we are going to be talking about One Piece Project Dawn and who the mystery character is. First of all, I didn't really address the mystery character in the image when I originally made my last video on One Piece Project Dawn. But in today's video, I'm going to address it because someone in the comment section said, who is the dude in the image? I really didn't really address it. I just talked about the information that we got for it. I didn't really talk about the person in the picture. So I brought Ninja and Vengefulwiberg to address who they think this is, or whether they think it's going to be a new character or even a custom created character. So let me hand it off to Ninja. Go and say your thoughts about the character and who you think they are.
Alright, so when you look at this image, I think a lot of us can agree this man looks almost identical to Crocodile way back in the Alabasta arc, especially considering the back looks kind of like Alabasta as well. Like, I don't know, that's the first thing I thought, but then it's like, he seems a little bit out of place. So it kind of brings about the question, like, who is this guy? Is he going to be someone we haven't seen before? Is he someone we already know? And I think it's very possible this guy could be the one and only Monkey D. Dragon. I feel with the whole Marijoa situation, where Marijoa is burning and you could kind of associate, you know, Marijoa with the world government. What's directly opposing the world government? The Revolutionary Army. So I feel this being Dragon would be very fitting. I do understand that the figure of this character might not like fit Dragon, but then again, this is just like a hand-drawn image. We can't really infer too much based on it, so I don't know. I think Dragon's a solid possibility.
What about you, Venge? Do you think it's gonna be a created character? Crocodile, Dragon? Give us your thoughts, man.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Not again. Is he okay?
You okay, fam?
You said customized character.
I mean character creation. You know what I mean?
I know. It could be, but I need to chill. It could be, but honestly, it's really hard. Actually, Ninja mentioned exactly who I was thinking it was, which was a Crocodile. Especially if you think about that crazy fuzzy coat that he's wearing. I mean, it just kind of made me think that was Crocodile just by the way he was standing and the shape and everything.
Right.
Like that's the best thought that I have. But in terms of customized character, oh yeah, I think I'll save that for when it's the appropriate time to talk about that. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that part.
Okay, so when it comes to my thoughts on who the character is, I do not feel like it's gonna be Dragon, because I feel like this is most likely gonna be the major villain of this story that's gonna happen in the game. So I like Venge. I was more so thinking Crocodile. I was like, yo, is this Crocodile, bro? Like I'm getting Alabasta vibes. So so seeing that, I was like, Crocodile. But based on the fact that it's hand drawn, it's hard to tell whether it is Crocodile. It's hard to really tell who this character is. A lot of people are saying that this is drawn by Oda, but we don't know for sure. We can only assume that it's drawn by Oda due to the fact that we know that Oda's gonna have a big hand in this game. And that's had a lot of people speculating on us getting an original story and that's had a lot of people speculating on what the story is going to be about, especially with the information that we got recently about this arc, or this game, should I say? Arc, bruh, freaking One Piece videos getting into my head, shit. But I'm gonna ask Ninja something. So, if it's Dragon, do you feel like Dragon will go up against Luffy in the story? And could you see Luffy versus Sabo in the story? Or do you think that Dragon is not the major villain of this arc, based on what they told us? They told us that there's gonna be a shift in power. So what do you think that means, especially them saying all those words about there's gonna be a shift in power, something's being destroyed and all that stuff? So if it's Dragon, explain why it is Dragon in your eyes based on all the information that we got. Yeah, there you go, bro.
Okay, so first of all, with the whole dragon situation, that is kind of just something that came to my mind right at the top of my head. Of course, who knows? There's not too much evidence supporting everyone, because like I said, like we were talking about, this is a hand-drawn thing, so it's kind of hard to tell. It could be a new villain, who knows? But I just feel it's fitting with the whole conditions and with the whole, I guess, villain part. From the way it's like kind of perceived from the description you gave, it does kind of make it come off like it's the main villain with the imposing threat. But I still feel if maybe this kind of maybe ties into something else, but maybe if this game were to have custom created character, which I don't want, but in the case that it would, I could totally see maybe the player playing as someone from the Revolutionary Army, and Dragon is just like the head of it, and he's kind of like giving you orders and everything like that, kind of like Trunks in Xenoverse 2, but you know, less annoying.
Xenoverse 2.
Ew, that game. But nonetheless, I feel this is more so like, when it means like a bigger threat, it's probably going to be talking about the world government in that sense, like Akainu and Kizaru and all these other people. I think it means in that sense. And who knows, we may even see the Gorosei. That's kind of an out there idea, but I don't know. I'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna add something, but I want to get Venge's thoughts on this. So Venge, how would you feel if it was an original character? Would you accept it? But only if there is no character creation on it. Because I know you hate character creation. I know you're kind of tired of it. And I don't want you to necessarily dive into why you're tired of it, because we gotta save that for something else in a different video. But
Gotcha.
like, just give us your overall thoughts on if it's a created character. Like,
you mean just like an original character? That
yeah, original character. Originally designed by Oda, because we've seen that done in what's that trash bootleg Pirate Warriors game? Unlimited World.
Yeah.
Only that one.
It's not that bad. Come on.
I'm joking. It's not that bad. I just love making fun of Unlimited World. But continue, man. Continue what you're gonna say.
Okay. So here's what I'm thinking. Well, if it's more of an original character and it has nothing to do with customization, I feel as though I would be more willing to accept it, especially if this is coming from Oda himself. Because the thing is, Oda is called Goda for a reason. And the reason why I just say that is because his storytelling is really well done. As far as the One Piece series, he has done an amazing job keeping the entire series intact with what, 1,000 plus chapters, if I'm not mistaken.
Nah, it's like 800.
So it is really getting close. I mean, it's just so many chapters that you read, it kind of blows your mind on how accurate and consistent the series is throughout. You figured by this time it would be a bunch of nonsense and like the whole story would be discombobulated. So with that said, I feel as though if this was a new character that was created by Oda, that I would have no problems accepting that. No problems at all.
I see where you're coming from, and there's one thing I got put out there, and this is the worst possible scenario that can ever happen. So it is an original story, yeah, but it is one of those stories that gets solved in like a tournament sort of vibe. You know how like you got J-Stars. sort of thing. That is probably the worst thing that could happen. And then it just turns into a character creation game, or it's just a character, a custom created character. Do you know how, like they said in Shinobi Striker, how they were saying how you got how they was basically hinted that you got to protect the universe of the Shinobi Striker world, but in reality you're just competing in a tournament and that's it. How would you feel if they were to do something like that? Obviously, at this point, they're not going to do anything like that because of all the information that they're giving us. It is too, and especially with the original character design that we're seeing, whether it's going to be a character that we've already seen or whether it's going to be a new character, obviously they're not going to do that. But how would you feel if they pulled this out of their ass? Like, I'm going to ask you, Ninja, first, then Venge can follow up after what Ninja says.
I just don't feel it's going to go in the classic, like, yes, of course, assuming that it's, it is going to be an original story, but I don't think it's going to go kind of in that same route as Shinobi Strikers and Xenoverse is going to go. Now, granted, Shinobi Strikers isn't officially out, so I can't fully judge that game, but nonetheless, I just feel, I don't know, One Piece, I trust in Oda, because the thing is of course they have to get Oda's consent with every single One Piece game, and I feel with the way it seems to be implied that he has a decent involvement in this game, so I don't think he's just gonna approve some half-assed game like this. You know, I think it's going to be fairly well done in that aspect, and that's just my take on it.
What about you, Venge?
You know what? When it comes to the whole idea about like a game, you know, a video game, and they're going with this whole story that revolves around tournaments, I just don't see that happening when it comes to One Piece Dawn. Because when you look at, let's say, Dragon Ball, it seems like so many arcs revolves around some kind of tournament. When you look at Naruto, they kind of have that kind of, they're kind of like, both of those franchises are kind of like, they have this story that can kind of revolve itself around that. More so Dragon Ball than Naruto, but Naruto had its fair share of, like, you know, stories involving tournaments of some kind or some kind of exam that's very similar to a tournament setting, but it's different. But when you look at One Piece, you don't get a whole lot of that. So, I mean, you did that one time, but you don't get that many. So, with that said, I don't feel like that's going to happen. I mean, like, One Piece, out of all the shonen, you know, out of all three of them, One Piece is the one franchise out of the three that's more story driven. So, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, because another point to put out there is, if you followed One Piece for a while, you could know this already. Oda isn't a lazy writer. That is one thing that he isn't. He is not a lazy writer. He doesn't cut corners. He does things how it is. There'll be certain instances where you don't necessarily need that, but he will add that because he wants to explain it. He wants to give you a lore behind a certain character, like within the series. So if he is having a good involvement and he's actually creating an original story, don't be surprised if the original story has a good lore to it or a good backstory, and based on the way they were saying it, like it's going to be an MMO, don't be surprised if the world and everything looks in such good detail. Because as bad as the story mode was for Burning Blood, you gotta keep in mind the cutscenes were clean. You may not like how the cutscenes were done, but in terms of the characters' visuals, in terms of what was happening in the cutscenes, they were clean for the most part. They were actually legit clean. And Spike said in interviews that when it came down to the story mode, they got tips and advice from Oda himself. And then you can see the reflection with how clean the cutscenes were and how clean it turned out to be. But as a whole, if Oda's actually making an original story mode and he has the time to put into it, he will put the work into the story mode for this game. I can't really say how he did it in Unlimited World Red, but based on this game and based on how they're saying that this game is going to be a heavily budgeted game, and it is a part of the 20th anniversary of One Piece, that underlines how big this game is going to be. Because if you look at the scan, you can see that, or the image that's it. You can see how you can see the 20th anniversary on the image, and it's there because that's why they're making this game. It's still a part of the celebration, if you know what I mean. It's a part of the celebration of One Piece being around for 20 years. So Oda is gonna give the fans what they want, as much as he can, and this is all based on timing, because you guys know that Oda can only do stuff to a certain extent because he's still working on One Piece. And even when he does take breaks, he's still gonna be working on stuff behind the scenes to make sure things are okay, because Oda's a guy that plans ahead. So from my standpoint, I do feel like when it comes to the story, you don't need to worry about it. I feel like that character that we're seeing in this image right now is gonna have an interesting backstory when it finally gets revealed in a trailer, which should come out soon. But as a whole, guys, you guys got anything else to add?
Nah.
Or is that it?
I think we can wrap up the video unless Venge has something.
What are you, Venge?
I don't think I have anything.
Okay, so hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it was kind of all over the place. It was just a nice, fun, relaxing video that we laughed a lot in. But as a whole, guys, I want to know what you guys think. Who is the character in One Piece Game Dawn, or Project Dawn, however you want to call it? In this image it says Game Dawn, but you guys might want to call it something else. But yeah, I'll leave that down to you guys in the comment section below, and make sure you subscribe, because YouTube be messing up, and it's been messing up for like a year now, for the longest time. And my sub count, I need subs, man. I'm joking. Just, if you enjoy my content, subscribe. If you like the video, like the video. You don't have to do it. I enjoy doing this regardless. But anyways, make sure you check out Ninja. Make sure you check out Venge. Both of their channels will be in the description below, and help me get that YouTube money.
Stop.
But anyways, let me just wrap up this video. So please comment and subscribe. I know I say this all the time, but at the end of the day, I need that YouTube money. Please leave a like, review, joking. Enjoy this video. I'll catch you next one, guys.
I'm done with you. Oh, damn it.